What's up, guys? Welcome back. Been a little sporadic with videos lately. Absolutely crazy busy with work and family life. Lenny keeps us super busy. So if you're following me on Instagram, you saw that I did a garage door install up at the Stone House in the spring back in May. I added the Clopay Avanti series glass garage doors to the barn. Super happy with the way that project came out. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend heading over to Instagram, check that out. The photos came out great. But it got me to thinking, I was thinking about how long I've been living with my Clopay garage door here at the firehouse, and we're just hitting the 4 mark year here. So I figured let's go back and do a little review of this thing, and kind of see how it's been performing over time, and some overall quality and durability maintenance thoughts. So we'll jump into it. So the door I used here is their Reserve Wood Extira collection. So Extira is basically a proprietary process, proprietary blend of sustainably sourced lumber, timber, combined with resins. And what that does is make the wood very stable. It far outperforms MDF. It is built to be dimensionally stable for the outdoors, and they tout it as something that will stand up to the elements. So Extira is a paint grade material, obviously with a mixing of the timber, the lumber with the resin. It's not a true wood, so it's not going to be a stain grade material. So I went with a two-tone gray here, went with cross bucks, went with 2 rows of lights, seated glass, which is great. And that is all to say the Extira collection is hyper customizable. I remember when I was going through the design process, the folks were telling me, the folks at Aquarius Door who did my install, they were telling me, I can adjust my door in increments of 1 inch. So the firehouse here, if I remember the dimensions, I know I'm 11 foot 1 inches wide, and I know that because when we were installing the fire pole, I had some concerns about getting the rails for the garage door to fit and be appropriate and not impede on what I was trying to do with the pole coming down from my office into the garage. So when Julie from Aquarius Door came out, we actually adjusted the door to be 1 inch smaller and gave us just that extra bit of cushion, which I'm super glad we did, because if you saw the install of the fire pole, it was definitely tight getting it installed there. But it's really nice. So basically any kind of dimension you have, you can make it work. So again, 11 foot 1 wide, and I believe I was like 13 foot tall. So this is a massive door. So the flexibility there to create a door for any opening size is really great. And then, going back to the durability of this thing, my firehouse faces due west. So for 8 months out of the year, from about 1 p.m. on, it is taking a beating in the sun. I mean, absolutely blasted. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the door looks brand new to me. It does not look any different than the day it was installed. I've got some B-roll from back when we shot the firehouse originally, and then I've got some B-roll of it today that I'm shooting today, and we'll have them side by side here, and you can take a look. But the door looks gorgeous. Again, looks like the day it was installed, and functions incredibly well. I had to have the door adjusted once in the 4 years that it's been installed here, but that adjustment had to do with the LiftMaster garage door opener, not with the door itself. Sometimes the springs get a little out of whack, or I'm not exactly sure what the reason was. I was getting some kind of error around the door closing with too much force. So I think they had to back the springs off a little bit. But I mean, Aquarius came down within a day or two, made the adjustment. It was not an error that wouldn't allow the door to work. It would just beep when it closed, because it kind of closed with a little bit too much force. And that said, I love the LiftMaster. I went with the 8500W. That's the one that has MyQ and has the battery backup. It's a shaft drive garage door opener, so it runs really quiet. There's no chains or anything like that. Real happy with that. The only thing I would say about the LiftMaster is I don't really love the MyQ ecosystem. It doesn't play nice with Apple Home. It doesn't really play nice with anything else. It's a bit of a clunky app. It certainly works. And I do use it quite a bit because I don't have a garage door opener on my motorcycle. So when I have my Google Maps up on my iPhone, as I pull up to the house and I pull over to the curb, I'll go over to the MyQ, open the garage door and head in. I did have a little workaround working through Apple Home, but MyQ has since closed down that API and you can no longer do it. But it was really nice because I would just be able to talk to my Apple Watch as I was rolling down the street, never have to stop, be able to roll right into the firehouse garage. But I guess that's a topic for another video. We can get into more smart home stuff at another time. So yeah, the doors, they stand up. In the wintertime, I do have a heater in my garage. Garage doors are not known to have super high R values, pretty standard throughout the industry. But I will say, I think it does a fine job. If memory serves, I believe Extira is an R6, maybe an R7. But I don't have a lot of wind infiltration or anything like that. Again, that's not necessarily the door itself. That's more about the install. So kudos to Aquarius Door for making sure all the weather stripping was done properly and is nice and tight. Keeping the wind out is really, I would say, 60-70% of that battle. I've got a gas-fired heater in that garage. I keep it at 55, so if it ever drops below, kicks on, get a blast of hot air. And just given the size of the opening I have when I open the garage door, there is a lot of cold air that comes in. So I'm happy I went with that heater. But even with the glass lights, I don't feel like it's an energy suck at all. Matter of fact, I highly recommend the glass lights. Like, it is so nice having natural light coming into the garage. We rarely, if ever, need to turn on the lights in there. So yeah, happy both from the exterior facade and kind of historic look with the seated glass and the two rows of lights, really complementing the historic facade of the firehouse. But then from a functionality standpoint, having that natural light in the garage when you're futzing around or doing a project or whatever, really, really nice. So all in all, I really can't speak highly enough about it. It's a great door. Everything from install, through the last 4 years of performance, no issues. I have seen no warping, no issue with paint, no nothing. Like I said, it looks like it's brand new. So really, really thrilled with that. If you didn't watch season 1 of the build, highly recommend doing that. We had a lot of fun putting this firehouse back together. And number 2, I actually went out to the Clopay factory and saw my door being made. So if you're more curious about Extira and the process, there'll be a link right here and a link in the description. You can check out that video. I went out to Russia, Ohio, and toured what is one hell of a facility. These folks make more than a few garage doors a year, so really, really cool to see all that. Aside from that, if you guys are interested in hearing more about my experience with all the products I've chosen, both for the firehouse and the stone house, now that a bunch of time has passed, let me know in the comments down below. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do with the channel here. Don't have a ton of time for new projects right now. I do have a couple lined up for spring, summer. So, if you're curious about a particular product that I've chosen in either of these locations or just what I think about them, after having lived with them now for 4 years here in the firehouse and for 2 years now up in the stone house, happy to do a bunch of these review videos. It's quite a bit easier than putting full projects together. Not quite as fun, but I understand that the information's valuable. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments. Until then, see you next time.